Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. I thought I would show you what I got up to on this particular day in my kitchen. So, it's a bit late. I normally do my Christmas cakes earlier, but there's been a lot going on recently and I ain't had time. I have done this video twice, so I'm not going to give you specifics. I made four Christmas cakes this day. One for my family, and one for the in-laws, and two for friends. So I'm only basically showing you how I went about doing it. If you want to see how I make the Christmas cakes, there is videos for that. If you send me a message or a comment, I can link them videos fully for you. It was a long process this day, doing all four of them, because the mixer only holds enough for one Christmas cake at a time, so. And then my oven only held 3. Cook at 3.5 hours each. I had to leave the oven on about 8 hours that day. It was boiling. But they're done. Now, I used to get the mixed fruit from Asda's, and it was about £1 a bag. And each bag did one cake. But you cannot get it for that price anymore. So Steve got the Lidl Deluxe one that was coated in brandy. I've just noticed a bit of eggshell there. Oops. It's at the side nearest me, I missed that. Oh, well, that's gone. It'll be fine. Eggshell's nutritious. So, yeah, he got the deluxe brandy filled one from Lidl, and it was about £3 on a bag. I've just realised here that I was trying to rush so much that I put I was starting to put the fruit in and realised the flour should have gone in first. See, even after all these years of making them, still make mistakes. So yeah, I was saying about the mixed fruit. He got that more expensive one from Lidl, and the smell, the smell was divine. I added, you can see how moist it is as well, look. I added my own mixed fruits into this. That's obviously mixed peel. And some cherries. I do not ever bother chopping up nuts. This is mixed nuts. There's chopped up dried figs, apricots, dates, the normal mixed fruit, all the mixed nuts. There's all sorts. You don't have to be restricted to even your own recipe. I had all the different dried fruits, like the dried apricots and stuff that needed using up, so I just used them. And I made the mistake here. I forgot to line the sides of the tin. So I had to take it out of that tin and put it into one that I lined. You see, it's because I was trying to rush. And that's what happens when you rush. You'll see in a minute that it's different. It's lined. When you're making Christmas cakes, because cook for so long, even at a low temperature, always make sure the inside of your tin is well lined. I've just realised now that's... And I'm thinking to myself, oh, bloody hell. So anyway, that's how it's supposed to be. Lined inside. They're all there ready to go. And a foil on top. And they were cooked at a low temperature for 3.5 hours, all four. Well, the fourth eventually. Like I say, if you want the actual recipe, I can link that video for you. So on this day, I made a seafood risotto. But my legs, my back, everything were already giving me grief. So I went for the option that was best. And I did my oven risotto. These are some Jumbo King prawns. And I just sauteed off some chorizo, 125 grams. About 150 grams of sliced chestnut mushrooms. And a small diced onion. Use the garlic paste as you like it. Some people like a little bit, some people like a bit more. Put in what you like. So sometimes I add peas. If I've got tomatoes or tender stem or whatever, I often like to add them at the top before I put the risotto in the oven. But I didn't have them, so needs must, and I used some peas this time. And Amy, who hates peas, she loves risotto. Caitlin don't like it, shock horror. But Amy does. And she eats the peas because it's all mixed in with it. And she never moans. Arborio rice. Stock. I use chicken stock. And I'm going to add 2 pots of white crab meat. I'm just adding some salt and cracked black pepper. So I'm just going to mix that through. The crab is already cooked, so that's why I put it in last before I put this into the oven. So I'm going to mix it through, and then what I'm going to do is bring the pan back up to a simmer, pop the lid on and put it in the oven. So just got to wait for it now to come back up to a simmer. And that was it when it was done. It all ended up going. It served the 3 of us. Although if you eat less, it'd probably serve 4. So I've shown you the Christmas cakes that were done first in the day and what we have for tea, but during the day, after the Christmas cakes, Steve's been asking for cheese and bacon scones for I don't know how long. He loves the things, fresh out of the oven, with loads of real butter on. So, who am I? Who am I to say no? This recipe, I think, began as a Mary Berry recipe. I say began because even if I find a recipe like Mary Berry or something, it never stays as they had it. Like the cheese. It's not the amount that's in her recipe. There's no bacon in her recipe. To me, if you find a recipe that you like, but you want to adjust it. Make it your own, make it how you like it. There's no point making something if it's not what you really, really want to eat, so. Mustard powder, English mustard powder, I have a milliliter setting on here, and then I have a milk milliliter setting on here, and I use the milk setting. I don't know if all scales have that, but this one does. And then add 1 egg to it and whisk it up. There's the girl waiting. She can smell the cheese again. What was I going to say? Yeah, when you're working with like scones and stuff, if it asks for a certain amount of like the milk and egg mixture, don't put it all in at once. Every batch of flour absorbs different amounts of liquid. So just add it as you need it. You'll see I don't use all of this in either batch. See, it's starting to come together and there's still that milk liquid left. As I say, this does make 8. But I made them larger and I didn't cut them out. That's not what I usually do with cheese scones. And it's not like Steve's going to share them anyway. Which I knew, which is why I made a different batch of scones straight after this, specifically with the kids in mind. Although Amy would probably eat these because she likes mustard, strangely enough. Which shocked the heck out of me when she started eating it. I used a knife as much as I could to start with when cutting the butter through it and stuff. That's the liquid that is left. So didn't need all that, but it'll be used to brush the tops. Try to handle it as little as possible, otherwise they end up becoming dense and heavy. As you can see, I'm not using a rolling pin. And Pooch is back, seeing if I've dropped anything worth scavenging. Just terrible. Oh, there might be some bacon or cheese and cheese she's dropped. I am just washing my hands because obviously the dough mixture's stuck all over my hands. So I could have cut them again, made them into 8. But that's not how we roll in this house. We're pigs. So I made 4. And one way or another, they'll fit in that tin, because that's the one I got out. And they did. Because I've made them bigger, obviously, I had to adjust the cooking time on them. So the egg and milk mixture, I'm just using it to put on the top of these. Next, I had to make a substitution for the children, obviously. So these are cherry scones, because I wanted to use up the last of the cherries. Cherries are not something I use very often, but I used them in the Christmas cakes, and that was what I had left, so I wanted to get them used up. So I made some cherry scones. See, I'm just using the knife again, trying to avoid too much heat. I want some of that butter to remain, not be rubbed into absolutely nothing. So the bigger chunks, I'm just trying to mix through a little bit. It's supposed to be like a breadcrumby mixture. I never take it that far. But when you've been cooking for years, you know your own hands, you know the texture of how something is supposed to feel. I suppose it's more difficult for people that are not used to cooking. The scales there, but I didn't weigh out the mixture for the cherries. I just chucked them in, which is quite often my way. Now this mixture, this dough ended up a bit wetter than I wanted, which was no problem in the end. See, I knew I wasn't going to use all that mixture. I could tell, because it was already starting to come together with the bits of flour dry flour that you usually end up with at the bottom of the bowl. But I knew I wasn't going to use it all. And still, it was a little bit wetter than what I wanted. See, I'm going to go in with my hands now. And I knew as soon as I touched that, that was wetter than what I wanted. So, like I say, even if a recipe tells you, like 250 mils of milk, don't pour it all in at once. So I knew if I left it in the bowl, I was going to have to use my hands more than I wanted. And that butter would start to melt. Look, it's taking my hands, look. So I knew I was going to have to add in a little bit of flour on top. I needed it just to be manageable enough. I'm not rolling that flour into it. I'm just making sure that the outsides are not... You can see how soft it is when it moves. Just going to making sure that I can work with it and that it won't stick. So of course Steve's whiskey, or his spirits tumbler, because while I was cutting him I couldn't think where I'd put my scone cutters. As soon as I'd started using this, I remember where they were, which is typical, innit? But it didn't matter. This worked just fine. They're a good thickness, as you can see. Don't pat them out or roll them out until they're like thin discs. That's not what scones are supposed to be. So I've got 12 and the last remnant looked like a turd, so I just stuck it on there anyway. And again, I used the mixture to help the browning on top. And these took 15 minutes in the oven. Bit too much milk on that one. So that was... Oh yeah, there's the turd, look, and it's right in the centre. You can see they turned out lovely. Plenty of cherries in them. And there was the cheese ones. They turned out lovely as well. Nicely risen. You can see the pieces of bacon. Steve ate the little turd there while it was still warm. And some blueberry jam, because that's mainly what we have. And some fresh cream. And the kids really enjoyed them. And the Christmas cakes once done, just show you the one, but yeah, once done. So I hope you enjoyed what I got up to in my kitchen. I'll try to add in more full recipes, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you got all the way to the end, let me know if you want any of the recipes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button for me. It makes all the difference. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.